Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset, hosted by Deborah and Moira. This podcast is designed to help listeners unlock their full potential, both personally and professionally, so they can thrive, not just survive. Deborah and Moira explore how natural tendencies don't always serve individuals and provide insights on how to harness existing strengths. Their goal is to equip listeners with the habits, mindset shifts, and strategies needed for lasting, meaningful change. Finding purpose and fulfillment can be challenging, but this podcast offers expert conversations, practical advice, and valuable tools to help align with a true sense of purpose and create a more fulfilling life. So grab a notebook, open your notes app, and get ready to take in some game-changing insights. Let's dive in.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hello.
Hello, lovely. Here we are with another one of our Deliciously Motivated Mindset podcast conversations, episodes, you know, one of them.
One of them.
And this one's going to be a good one. This one, well, they all are. I know that. I always say that this is going to be a good one. Well, of course they are. Techniques to help smooth the knocks of life. Well, we all know that there's multitudinous knocks in life. You can't, yes, yeah, them. But before we start getting into looking at and sharing and riffing about techniques, let's get ourselves just landed into this space and time, into a wee bit of heart coherence. I've already got my hand over my heart. I encourage you to do so. One hand or both hands, and take a nice deep breath in through your heart space, filling that up. And even envisage and intend that as you do that, you're illuminating or actually allowing your own inner light to be further illumined and brightening. Breathe into that. Allow that to just be your guidance, your I was going to say your guidance, your North Star, your inner compass, your inner calming space. It's right here. And this one's important to come into this technique of calming your nervous system and breathing into your heart space, feeling yourself supported by whatever you're sitting or standing on, while really, really focusing on bringing your breathing into a natural rhythm, deep, slow in-breath, long, full out-breath. You can even sigh it out of your mouth, letting go of anything that doesn't need to be in this space and time. And again, breathe into your heart space and breathe out. And the more we can do this throughout our busy day, throughout whatever turmoil or discombobulation or knocks that we experience, keep coming back to this. It's always here. You just have to remember it. So one more nice deep breath. Allow yourself to feel connected to my energy and to Deb's energy, as well as being connected to anyone else listening to this episode. When we connect like this, time doesn't exist. So it's such a beautiful piece to always remember that you can always come back into this beautiful, heart coherent blanket of loving acceptance. It's always here. So nice deep breath again. And I encourage you to gently come out of that, but hold on to the technique and maybe pick up a note-taking device of your choosing while we switch gears and get into our conversation. Techniques to help smooth the knocks of life. Before we hit record, Deb said, the first tip. Well, the first tip is always the heart coherence, right?
Heart coherence. It's a given.
That's a given. But Deb also said, trust. She said, oh, we have to talk about trust. So let's talk about trust. Technique to help smooth the knocks of life. Trusting that you are always in the right place at the right time, right?
Yeah, and it's not this. Now, there's when I think about trust, I think there's a few little levels of trust. There's just like, oh, trust, yeah, that's it. But I don't even have to think about trust,
Mm,
which seems a silly thing to go, oh, I'm thinking of trust, but I don't have to think about trust. That trust it comes naturally without even having to go, oh, I must do this step.
yeah.
And that's
Because
the trust.
because you embody trust, right?
That's
That's the
right.
difference between a concept and the embodiment of.
Yeah. And over telling yourself, I must do this, I must do this, I must, like, I must, I must, I must, I must. That's another level of trust. And it doesn't matter what level of trust you lean in on, lean, la, 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 you lean in on.
Mhm.
It's trust when you start to get to that embodiment. Because I know Moira, and I would say this for Moira. She's the same as me. I don't think, oh, I must trust this process. I'm like,
Yeah.
it doesn't even come into my head to trust.
Yeah.
It's literally just as easy as I breathe. I just know that I'm trusting everything that's happening to me is actually happening for me.
Mhm.
And I think when you can get to that point, so trust is, we could do a whole podcast on trust.
Yeah, we
Um,
could.
yeah, but so trust us when we say that we can. Uh,
Mhm.
so the aim is to get to that point where you don't have to go, oh, ooh, oh, I must trust this process. And trust is, as Moira says, an inside job.
Yep. Trust it totally is an inside job. And so sometimes if you have got a wee bit of the wobbles on that inner trust, it shows up as not trusting other people. Wouldn't you
Mm,
say that that's actually kind of like the alert? That's the tap to, if you say,
yes.
I don't trust that person to follow through, or I don't trust that person when they say they're going to do this or they're not going to do this. That that inability or that alert can be, hey, wait a minute, you've maybe let your own embodiment of trust slip a wee
Mm,
bit,
yeah.
right? None of these techniques are intended to be criticisms. These are
Oh, yeah, definitely.
flags to dive into with compassion, kindness
Yeah.
and compassion. That's another part here
Yeah.
about smoothing the knocks of life. I would say that that
Be gentle on yourself. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think we forget we're human. You know, I was talking to a lovely man yesterday morning for breakfast, and he said, "Oh, I bet you have a perfect life." And I will tell you what, just as well I'd swallowed, because I probably would have spat my I remember I had my scrambled eggs, and he said, "I bet you have a perfect life." And I would have spat my scrambled eggs at him. There is no person who has a perfect life.
Mm-mm.
Well, perfect life until you see the divine order.
Yeah,
But you cannot have a perfect life at all times, because you can't be centered and poised. You must bring in the drama, the chaos, the chaoticness to balance your mind. But I just had to giggle at that, because you're human. You're human having human experience, and yes, our life is perfect in the end, but there's things that challenge me, but I have to work through. I have to pick up my list of tools that I can look at that to go through that to see the divine perfection in each moment.
absolutely. So that's what I wrote down from that, what you just said, is to celebrate your
Just don't eat
humanity.
scrambled eggs. Yeah.
No, celebrate your
Yeah.
humanity, right? Because the thing is, what I was hearing in what you were saying is somebody saying, oh, you must have a perfect life or you have an ideal life. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But the thing here is that what one person's definition of things being perfect and charmed is not going to be another person's, right?
Mm.
So it's about celebrating your humanity, but also just being authentically you
Yeah.
and having the experiences, having the tantrums if you need to, having
Mm.
the wobble moments. This too shall pass, right? And it's
Yeah.
it's it's though because sometimes
Well,
situations
this too shall pass jumps back to that trust, doesn't it, again?
it really does. Yeah. Yeah, it does. But then, so therefore, the other part that comes in for that too is not to resist something, because when we really acknowledge that everything's happening for us and
Mm.
through us. It's not happening to us. That allows us to say, I don't like this. I don't like this situation. This does
Mm.
feel like a wobble, but it's once I just stay present to what can I do
Mm.
and focus on yep, this too shall pass, or one step at a time. I've
Yeah.
got this, right?
Yeah.
And come back to that.
Yeah, I'd love, and I love how you summed it up to celebrate humanity. And um, I think just if you can go into that celebrate,
Mhm.
appreciate, well, actually, hang on, we
We
haven't
haven't
got
said gratitude
gratitude.
yet.
What? Gratitude. We'll just bang that one in.
Mhm.
Gratitude gives you the right attitude. But when you can actually celebrate humanity, it does fill your heart up.
Yeah.
And that then we'll look at, the gratitude. And gratitude is just being thankful for this perceived knock of life,
Yeah.
the way people have been around you because of this knock of life, or how it took you on a journey. Maybe it was so chaotic you had headaches, and it took you on a journey to discover, like, this is not for me, or did.
Yeah. I think that's such an important one because I had this conversation just recently where somebody was really acknowledging what I was saying to this group was that when we talk about chaos and discombobulation and turmoil and the knocks of life are
Yeah.
happening for us, and that there's always a gift. There's always a gift in
Mm,
anything that we experience. However, what I was saying is there are times, and there are times in my life where I wouldn't have said, "Oh, I'm in this experience, or I'm having this
well, this is a beautiful
thing."
moment to be amongst you.
Exactly. Or I know the gift because there's times that you don't. However,
Mm,
this does circle back to trust because
yeah.
just because I can't see it, just because I can't decipher what is the wisdom or what is the gift or what is the best way of this, doesn't mean it's not there. And so it means, okay, I just need to focus on grace and ease and one step at a time. And through doing that, you will come to the point
Mm,
of saying, now I get why that happened.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Does that make
Yeah, and I
sense?
think I think yes. And just when you were saying, I was thinking about what's your intention in this? What's your while
Mm,
you're having this knock, or definitely goes back to trust. What's your intention? How do you want to feel in this process? Do you just want to sit and have a breakdown and cry and just, you know, without having to strategize and unpack it? Or do you want to actually just, call a friend or whatever? But how do you want to feel about this? Do you just want to nurture yourself? Get a blanket and just take a moment, go outside, what do you want to feel in this process? Now I know you're not going to want to say, I want to feel the pain. Well, you might want to go, I want to go punish myself for this. I want to feel that pain. But whatever that is, what do you want to do? Because when you can set the intention, I want to feel great, but I want to feel my body, or I want to feel like this is not a burden for me, or I want to
mhm.
feel like the universe has got my back. Once you set that intention, the when you set that intention with, I don't know, just, I'm not going to say with an a-hole way, but this is what I want. Why are you
Mm,
not giving it to me? But when you set that intention in an ease and grace way, like, okay, I just want to feel this. I want to feel it in my body, but I also want to feel that it's going to go. It's not going
yeah.
to be as big as what I, but you have to set your intention, because if you're not setting your intention, outside sources set them for you, and they are often not in alignment with our thoughts straight away.
Well, that's a really important one, though, too, because to always remember that you are actually the boss of you, even when you're going through a wobble or a time of turmoil.
Mm,
The aspects that you just shared there, Deb, made me think of what we've talked before about what I talk about as the self-soothing kit. So this
oh,
actually might
yes.
be a really helpful technique to think about this idea of helping smooth the knocks of life, is every time you hear an idea or you hear a meditation or learn a breathing technique or do the hand on your heart or some kind of heart coherent, make a wee note of it. Because the thing is that I don't remember all of the self-soothing ideas when I'm in turmoil or discombobulation, but I
The eye of
have
the storm.
reminders. I have the reminders all around me at all times, actually. And so that's what I really encourage people to do is, and if you want more information on my ideas about self-soothing kit, put it in the comments or message us, because I could talk about self-soothing kit all day long. But don't you
Mine's called
think
a glitter
that's
bomb kit,
yes,
everybody.
yes.
Mine's called a glitter,
Deb
and
called
that's how it would be, of course.
yes.
But it is having that kit is super helpful because you're in the storm. You're not in the eye of the storm. Again, we do that when you're standing in the eye of the storm, you can see. But
Yeah,
when you're in the storm, you are
you're
one
spinning around and around and yeah, totally discombobulated.
discombobulated state. Yes.
But that's, and it's the same for your suggestions about the glitter bomb kit, is that you do it when you're not in chaos. And just, notice these things, because
Yeah.
that's why it's yours. What feels like a big warm hug to me may not be the same for you, but
That's
you have to keep trying out different techniques and then tailoring them and tweaking them and thinning them out when needed, right?
yeah. 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 Yes. 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 The self-soothing kit or glitter bomb kit. Um, I think from that, just have a memory bank of moments where you have had a knock of life and you've survived.
Mm.
And
So
you may just be going,
being
yeah,
curious about
yeah,
what you've
yeah.
come through.
And you may just be going, well, I didn't survive. Listen here, people, if you're listening to this podcast, you
Then you
survived.
did.
Just want to tell you. It may have been painful. It may have been something you never thought you could do, but you still survived. So just having that memory bank
Hmm.
of this is what I went through, and I think
And I'm
then it
still
gives you that,
standing.
yeah, yeah, and it gives you that evidence that, oh, okay, yes, yes, actually you're right. Yes, yes, I can do this because this is what happened last night, and even though this one feels bigger, going back to that time when you were going through whatever it was you're going through, that was the biggest thing you've ever dealt with at that time.
Yeah. And that
And I think,
reminds you of how resilient you are, doesn't it?
yeah,
Which then, of course, allows you to go back to, I've got this, because you would believe yourself, right?
yeah, yeah. The memory bank is just as important. Mm.
Yes.
And I think I'm also going to say, with that memory bank, if you have anything like, yeah, but my mum didn't support me. Yeah, I
Mm.
remember I got through, but my mum didn't support me. I want you to go back to strategy technique number 5 was the gratitude. Go
Mhm.
back. What are the benefits? Because if there's a niggle sitting there, it's just going to keep repeating and repeating. So if, yeah, but my mum didn't support me. So let's go back and look at what the value to you, being grateful that your mum didn't support you. Where did that support come from? What did that look like? No one did. Okay, so you're internally looking at yourself. Was that beneficial? Like really going back so that you can feel your heart open,
Mhm.
going back to that heart coherent, your heart open for that experience. Because the more you're holding on to the past, the more you're not going to be able to step into the future.
Well, the more you're actually in the bumpy ride of the knocks of life.
Yeah.
Because you see, the thing about when we get caught up in past stories, we're animating that which no longer exists. And
Mm,
so the key piece is that mindset, in my mind, and you can correct me if you disagree, but in my mind, that mindset says life was happening to me.
mm,
Because if this person didn't support me and that person let me down over there, those things are happening to me. But what was
Mm.
for me was, well, I became independent. I became a type of person that would say, well, I'll try this new technique or I'll go and learn something new. So it's always staying present. This is so, so important. The past is
Yeah.
gone. So
Yeah,
there
you
is
can't take it back.
value, there is huge value in what you just said about collecting the evidence, but like collecting the
But
evidence
not
of what
holding
you've
on to it,
overcome.
letting
Don't
it
hold
go.
on to it yet, and don't have a story about it.
Mm.
Stories are the parts that we don't want. It's just, yes, this is the event that happened, and this is what I did to get through it. Done. Right?
And you want to, yes, and get yourself to that point of humor, laughing at it. Like,
Yeah.
not laughing at yourself going, "Oh, I'm such a bad person,
No,
man.
no, no.
You know, can't believe this happened to me. Ha ha ha, you're so stupid." Yet again, like laugh at it and go, "Man, what was that train I was on? That was derailing. Crikey, you were such in a state that you couldn't even see the clarity. Wow." But laugh, laugh, laugh is a great healer in your heart.
It is.
It
And
is.
so maybe laughing at the story, because the story is kind of like, oh, it's all over and done with.
Mm.
Where's the gift?
Yeah, yeah. Laugh with laughter, not laugh with you loser.
No, laugh with kindness, laugh with compassion.
Yes. Yeah.
There's because there are several quotes about that, about the we all take ourselves way too seriously. And it is
Yeah.
supposed to be a fun experience and a game of life.
Mm,
And just kind of like, oh gosh, there I go again, taking myself way too seriously or taking that whole situation and blowing it up out of proportion if I'm needing to retell a story over and over and over again.
mm,
Actually, that actually really help brings in another tip that I want to say about the acknowledge. And I know you often talked about that we all want to be seen, heard, and acknowledged, right?
mhm,
But so do all aspects of us. All aspects of
mm,
us want to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. And so I have this philosophy that if there is a story that keeps coming up in your own, like, oh, that person let me down, or that happened, or this fell apart,
yeah.
there's some component in there that has not been seen, heard, and acknowledged. And in
Yes.
order to stop it continuing to come out, you need to sit down and express it fully. That could be speaking it out into a recorder, writing it out, and then acknowledging this is what happened. And now, and actually I do this with a lot of my clients, is I'll have them write the whole thing, all the gory details, and then burn the piece of paper or
I
rip
was
it
just going to say,
and just
but
say
this is not for
it's
you to
over and
continue
done.
to read
Yeah,
over and
yeah,
over.
no, 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 no. This is a purging of the system. But
Yeah.
this is why I'm saying is because if it's looping in your head, it needs to be brought out into the physical universe, acknowledged fully, and
Yeah.
then completely let go. That's over and done with. And the I love doing symbolic sacred routines around this. So I would personally burn the piece of paper. But
Yeah.
if you're in an apartment or in a place where you can't do that, then shred it, like really shred it
Mm,
with the intention of it's cleared up, it's over and done, not animating this again, right?
yeah. And yeah, it's a part of that letting go because
Yeah,
the more you're holding on to stuff, um, the more you're holding on to things, stuff, whatever you want to call it, the more discombobulation it's going to be. I think I've been doing a bit of traveling lately and I've really noticed community or tribe or your people, and if you're looking at techniques to help smooth the knocks of life, it's really important to have the right people around.
mm,
And there may be people on here going, I don't have people, there's no one around. Yep, okay, that's great. That's great that you think like that. But there is somebody around all the time when you're ready, just
yeah,
when you're ready. I don't, I live in isolation. Well, actually, you've got Deborah and Moira here.
yep.
We're here for you. This is us right here, right now. You've got us right here, right now. And when we think about that, um, having the right people around, but just also be aware of other people's, I don't know if I say agendas or other people's, oh, he did this last time, or she's always done that, or your boss. You talk about it all the time, which is helpful for you, but also just got to remember this is your decision, your way, but they're there to hold space and love you. Yeah, just have the right people around. I'm getting my words all mixed up because I feel like I'm going to need to give a gazillion points to this one. But just look at who you have around and be okay with not sharing certain things with certain people. Doesn't mean you've got to dump your friends, but if something's going on in your finances, there may be a particular friend you don't want to talk to. That's
Mhm.
okay, but just having the right people around at the right time to get you through certain things. And of course, we're 300 and plus episodes now, so I'm sure listeners, you can find one episode that's going to really zone in and relate to you. Just saying.
Yep. The thing that I was thinking of when you were saying that about being aware of who you share certain parts, that to me is a reminder to know what your boundaries are.
Oh,
Know
yeah.
what your boundaries, and that is such an important technique to help smooth the knocks of life, is knowing your boundaries. Because always remember that we educate people how to treat us and how to speak to us.
Mm,
And so if somebody is speaking to you in a derogatory way or disrespectful way, or in a way that feels draining or taxing to you in some way, you have to pause. And I encourage you to pause and put your hand on your heart.
mm,
Take a deep breath, come into some heart coherence and just go, wait, 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 wait. What did I do or say that created this?
mm.
And then do whatever you need to step back into your own protective energy bubble,
Yeah,
because you don't deserve to be talked down to or have somebody criticize or deplete you in any way, right?
yeah. Yeah, but boundaries is and that jumps back to that intention, set your intention. What
Mm-hmm.
do you want out of it? Because if you can't answer those things, then the gaps are going to get filled.
Yeah,
So so those boundaries, but I'm going to bring in shame and guilt here.
You're listening to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, here to help listeners unlock their full potential so they can thrive, not just survive. They've shared some very powerful insights so far, so it's time to take a moment to breathe, reflect, and jot down any key takeaways. What's one piece of advice that stands out to apply right away? Before wrapping up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from everyone. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback, and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how listeners are putting these insights into practice. Let's dive back in and finish strong.
Because I can't tell my mum this because she's going through some stuff going on. Well, it doesn't matter if she's going through stuff. If you have to express it, you have to express it. That's her stuff. But we do hold ourselves back because, oh, I feel guilty, I can't do that, or I feel guilty because I've done this last time. I feel guilty because somebody else has done it to them. That's not your stuff.
mm-mm.
And guilt will immobilize you. Guilt will affect your self-worth. Guilt will stop you from moving forward, or even still, guilt will make you overcompensate for things.
Yeah.
Oh, I did this, so now I need to pay for them. Or I did this, and now my children are feeling bad, and I don't know what to do, so I'm going to give them lots and lots of whatever.
Mm.
I'm going to take them on a trip. And it's just guilt money. So be aware of that shame. I'm shameful for what I've done. I'm going to do anything. Be aware of becoming the puppy dog when you have shame and guilt. And I think that's an important one to tap into.
For sure. The thing too, this shame and guilt always makes me think of the check-in to make sure that it's based on reality, because
Real
all
life.
too yeah, all too often that just a made up story. It's like, yeah, you
Yeah.
just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of
And
like,
you're right. Is this real?
yeah,
Is this real, or is this something that that I've
made
that
up.
I've yeah made up because I need it. I need it for
Mhm.
something. And I think that is it real? It brings it back to it's not emotion. It takes away the emotion a little bit.
Yeah,
Is this real? Is this real? Yes. I don't know. Is this feeling real? Yeah, the feeling's real, but did the action really happen? Or did you jump on the cray cray train
yeah,
and and recruit people? And I
yeah.
think I think that's that. Is this real is a great pivot back to, yeah, it just to me it just takes the emotion away from it. Would that be right? Do you feel that?
Yep, yeah, no, most definitely. But it also makes me think of, if you are experiencing shame and guilt, then it might be time to remind yourself of the four agreements, which we
Oh
haven't talked
man.
about yet.
Yeah, definitely. What?
But see, so because shame and guilt can be a flag to say you're not being impeccable with your word. So
Mm,
bringing it back to being that, and that applies to the thoughts that you have in your head as well as the words that you're using. But then the other one is to not take things personally. So if you're saying, "Oh, I feel so guilty or forced, I've got so much shame over this," it's not about you. Whatever
mm,
another person's reaction or non-reaction is, it's not about you. So let that be that. And don't
mm,
make
mm,
assumptions. Oh, this person's going to be so mad at me if I say no. Well, maybe you're not the right person to do whatever that you're feeling obligated to do. And by you saying no, it will open the door for an even better solution. So if you're getting too caught up in the, oh, I have to do it, and yeah, you're making an assumption there. And then always do your best. That's the four agreements in a nutshell. But I think that if you're experiencing feelings of shame and guilt, it's time to bring that in, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I think that, I know I said yesterday,
Yeah.
earlier, just before, it takes away your feeling, your emotion. When you look at the four agreements, it becomes it's not emotionless, but it just becomes oh, okay, I can see that. Yeah,
Yes,
right. Oh,
clarifying.
oh, right, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like,
Yeah.
And I think it just takes away that sting,
Mhm.
that sting of what you're thinking is painful.
Yeah. It takes away
Mm,
the sting, but wouldn't you say it also takes away the rumination about it? Because
yeah,
now I see it.
yeah,
It's clear.
yeah. Well, I think when we think about this, I know I talked about your intention and how do you want to feel with this, but if you're looking at a technique to help smooth the knocks of life, which clearly you are here, what is the higher purpose of this?
Mm.
Instead of just going, what do I want to feel today? What do I want to feel down the track? What's your mission in all of this? What's the outcome you're really looking forward to down the track? So you can see the journey that you're actually on and recognizing the past, look behind and go, actually, yeah, no, I am on track. And that's just a reminder. So it's not just right here, right now.
Yeah.
It's actually, yeah, right here, right now. But where am I going? What am I doing? What does this look like? What does this
What's
feel
my
like?
dream? Yeah.
Yeah, what's my dream? What's my vision and mission in all of this? Is this on my train or off my train? And by the way, everybody, it's on your train. Just means you got to go through the work to discover that. But what does this look like? What is this vision and mission?
Hmm.
Because you're looking at the bigger picture instead of what you're sitting in right now.
Absolutely. And that goes right back to how we began this conversation about trust. Is I don't know about you, Deb, but so many experiences and discombobulations, trauma, turmoil, bumps in the road, I can now look over my shoulder and go, wow, look at what the gift was, and look at how it got me right here. because that's a whole part of the gathering the evidence, that even when you're in situations and you think, I have no idea why I'm going through this, that's okay, but
But
I
we
am
just
going through
talked about
this.
that this morning, just before we recorded, didn't we? We just went,
Yeah,
didn't we?
yeah,
Yeah.
we did. We did.
And just recognizing how far we've both come in this last year
Yes. Yeah, we did. That's
of
funny. We did talk
yeah. I
about
was
that.
like, hang on a minute, didn't we have the same conversation
Yeah, we
off camera? Yeah,
did.
yeah, without even knowing. But it's recognizing how far you've come
Yes.
and
Yeah.
just, that that is, yeah, actually, yes. But yes,
But
my
then
head's gone.
that, you
This
see,
is
to
funny.
me, that then makes you realize if there's more knocks in the way, then they'll be short-lived because I'm I'm on my path.
Mm.
I'm doing the
And
right things at the
the
right
knocks are
time.
there. Yeah, the knocks are there to open your eyes.
Yeah.
The knocks are there to go, okay, this isn't for me. Okay, I've got 5 knocks out of this one particular thing someone's asked me to do, but someone else has asked me to do something that's more in alignment with who I am,
Yep.
and I didn't get one knock. Okay, radio. So it's open your eyes, people. I guess that's the other one.
Yes, open your eyes and know this actually brings me to the idea that we've talked before about the collective, that we are all one. That
Mm.
so that actually helps also with the over responsibility of it's only me that can do this. Well, no, if it feels like a bumpy ride and everything in me is saying, no, get out of here, this isn't right, then it's not,
Mm.
right? The propensity to be a people pleaser is that whole piece of they have to be looked after and in harmony before I can even think about how do I feel about myself here. That's
Yeah,
my favorite, one of my
and
favorite questions.
well, well, how do, yeah. That's just which goes back to our number one tip, going back to our heart coherent
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, Listeners, I want to keep talking about this because there's so much. I feel like, how come this happens to us? Is it just me? I feel like we just start to warm up and we get this flow of, we've got the standard tips that come out, and but here we are, here we
Here we
are,
are. Here
and
we are.
grab your note-taking device because would like to just go back and recap everything that Maura and I have talked about
Mhm.
to pull you back in a condensed way for techniques to help smooth the knocks of life. Heart coherent.
Yep.
Heart
Get into
coherent,
heart
right from the
coherence.
very start, hand on heart, pulling ourselves back to our heart, and whatever way that looks like for you.
Mhm.
If you need to re-record, not re-record, or yeah, record the first part of Moira's heart coherent, that we started with this. If that's what you have to play when you're feeling like that, then
Yeah.
do that. There is a way for everything, but heart coherent pulls us straight back to the heart. And I know for me, if something happens publicly and I feel like there's a slap or a sting or a punch, or a cut, hand on heart, just
Yep.
hand on heart, it just brings me back to me because that's where I'd rather choose to live, in my heart than in my head.
100%. Me too. Me too. And then that got us straight into the next tip was trust. One of our favorite. This is when we were saying, I said trust, so always trusting that we are always in the right place at the right time. But I liked what you said, Deb, about it coming naturally. And that's when I was talking about we embody trust.
Mm,
We don't have to go, oh yeah, I have to remember to trust this. No, it's part of our us. And so we really encourage our listeners to look at how can you best embody trust, remembering it is an inside job. Trust yourself. You got to trust you. That's the fundamental piece about saying it may not look like what I thought it was needing to look like, but it is, and it feels
yeah.
okay. I can feel okay with this, right?
Mm, yeah.
Hmm.
And the next one, I've actually missed the next one, but I'm going to go to the next one after that, and then Maura can pick that up because I trust that Maura's wrote that one down because I wrote number 3 down and then I didn't put anything. Was celebrate humanity. and just you're here to celebrate. And Moira mentioned one thing, this too shall pass,
Mhm.
and which goes back to that trust. But just celebrate that this is going on around you, and this is, and that you're part of, you're having this beautiful experience, and it may not feel beautiful at the time, but celebrate that you're here, you're present, and you're working through this. So celebrate that humanity, and this too shall pass.
Absolutely. I love that. Um, there was two before that I had, and it
Oh,
might have been mixed up with the trust. I have that everything's happening for us through us.
of course.
Well, of course. And then we kind of went into to reminding us that we all deserve our own compassion and kindness. And
That's
that's
right.
and you actually said it too, to be gentle with yourself. So
Mm.
that then led into the be grateful for
Humanity.
your humanity. Yeah.
I love that. And the celebrate humanity jumped into gratitude.
Gratitude. Yes.
Gratitude. Being thankful for this experience, be thankful that uh, other people are experiencing things, and just be thankful for what you have right here, right now.
Mhm.
Thankful for what you have, for what you don't have, for the journey that you're on. Be thankful, because when you can open your heart and appreciate, not false appreciate, but really be thankful and grateful for this experience, and you're not going to attract it again into your life, because, well, you're actually not going to fear it. And the more you fear, you attract things into your life.
Yeah.
But when you're truly grateful, you're literally stopping the point right there when this happens, when you're truly grateful, because you don't attract it in. But be thankful for it, but not a false thankful. And
Yeah.
if that could be, write it down. What beautiful, what experiences am I getting from this? What are those uplifting things I'm getting? What is this, how does this make me feel in a lovely way? Just
Mhm.
be grateful for that situation.
Hmm. I love that. And then talking about the gratitude part, the next one that I have here is that I know when I say to you that every bump or knock or turmoil or trauma in life has a gift in it, I realize that while you're in it, you may not see it. And so I think this is such an important piece to me to bring in, because sometimes people can get really jaded
Mm,
about yeah, you know, you say there's a gift, but I don't see it. All I see is darkness right now.
yeah.
But so that's why I'm saying is that, and it needs to come back to trust.
Mm,
Just because you can't see it doesn't mean you will arrive at that. And sometimes that's going to be a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a couple of years, sometimes even. So
mm,
just allow yourself, and this is coming back into a wee bit of that humanity idea too.
mm.
We're all wired in different ways. It takes us our own pace to actually get to that realization. So just be kind and gentle and know it's there, but just because you can't see it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, or it's there for everybody else, not for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the one I've got is setting intention.
Hmm.
How you want to feel, how do you want to feel during this way? And remembering that this is your way, not anyone else's. You're the captain of your own ship.
Yep.
You're the master of your own destiny. And there's a gazillion little quotes for that.
Mhm.
But set the intention the way you want it to be, not the way somebody else wants it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then right from that, we talked about, I call it my self-soothing kit. Debs calls it a glitter bomb kit. But we like to really encourage everybody we talk to create some collection, and it can be inspirational quotes, it can be a blanket, it can be
Mm,
crystals, techniques, breathing techniques, hand on your heart. These are all techniques that it's good to do that, to create this idea of a kit um, when you're not feeling discombobulated or got lots of knocks going on, but something so that when chaos hits, you can grab something
mm,
and get into that awareness of, yep, this too shall pass, or okay, all I can do right now is put my hand on my heart and breathe. Okay, then do that. Do that.
Do that. Just do that. Yeah.
Hmm.
The next one I have is the evidence of the past,
Hmm.
and just checking in to remind yourself that you've been through it before and you're a survivor. I mean, I don't really like that word survivor. It feels,
No, I like to think of it as being more resilient. You're resilient.
yeah, you're resilient. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
it. Yeah, that survivor word. But, well, you are a survivor, by the way, people. But you're
Hmm.
also resilient. So
Hmm.
just make sure you've got that evidence of the past, and then you're going to let it go. You're not going
Hmm.
to hold on to that,
Yeah.
and that, yeah, and then let it go.
Yeah, definitely. The next one I got that was we were talking, actually it was Deb bringing up examples of people saying, oh, well, my mother let me down, or that this person didn't do this for me. And my concern when I hear people repeating things from their childhood and, this 30 years on, that they're still saying, well, I'm this because of that parent let me down. Um, there's there's a component of all of us that wants to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. And
Mm,
if you've got a past tape playing that's saying, I'm flawed, I'm from a bent mold because of dot, 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 dot,
yeah.
see what you can do to express it. Write it down fully, like uncensored, fully purge it out of your system. Brain dump, write everything down. And so, what my suggestion was is to write everything down. And once you feel like you've really expressed, you've got that whole thing seen, heard, and the acknowledgement is to burn it or shred it. My preference is to burn because then I actually then meditate and allow the smoke to be my actual intention to this is gone. This is no longer part of my identity.
Mm,
So that's a really big letting go part there.
yeah.
You are not your past story.
Yeah, I love that you are not your past story. Yeah, that's. And then the next technique I have is your community and your tribe. Who do you have around you? And that's important because those people could have a hidden agenda.
Mm.
Well, I didn't like that boy when I first met him, so I think you should break up with him. When you've had a little wobble and you've had an argument, and you just have to say to your friend, "Oh yeah, he's going out again, second night in a row." Oh, well, there you go. He must be doing something,
Mm.
And there's stories. So be aware of the people you have around you, and you don't have to cut anyone off, but you might just go, "Okay, well, I'm going to talk to my mum about relationships, but I'm not going to talk to dad, or I'm going to talk to my
Yeah.
friend Jane, but I'm not going to talk to my friend Annabelle, whoever that is, for whatever's going on." Just have the right people around you because they're the ones that you're standing beside, alongside to give that. And then, of course, there's Moira and Debs, or
That's right.
Debs and Moira. And we are
We're
here
here.
for you. We are here for you to help you evolve
Hmm.
from whatever that is. Yeah.
Absolutely. And as a like a little side note under that tip that you shared, I said boundaries because
Yes,
knowing
I've got that.
knowing
That's a whole separate tip that I don't like that word, but anyway,
I
I'm
know
going with that
Deb
one.
doesn't
Yeah.
like that. Although she actually has
No.
brought it up as a tip a couple of times in previous episodes, which I celebrated.
Mm-hmm. It has. It has.
But
Yeah.
so boundary so where I'm coming from with this is that we educate people how to treat us and how to talk to us. And so if how somebody's treating you or talking to you is disrespectful or depleting or diminishing you or squashing you in some way, that's a flag to say, wait, there needs to be a boundary, and maybe I've given too much, maybe I've said too much. And so that's just really because let's face it, we know who to talk to about certain things and who not to talk to
And
about
who not to
certain
talk to.
things.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. The next technique I've written down is shame and guilt.
Hmm.
And shame and guilt is an immobilizer.
Yeah.
It will
Yeah.
stop you from growing, stop you from leaning in, stop you from moving forward. So just check in with that shame and guilt. And are you doing this? Are you buying this present for somebody because you've done something you feel guilty of or shameful from? So just check in and look at the purpose of what's really going on for you with that shame and guilt.
Yep. Check in to see if it's real.
Yeah,
And the
well, I've
next
got
one,
this reel is actually a whole separate tip.
oh, do you?
Just
Okay.
just for the record, because is it real is actually a great one, that just pivots you back, and it can be very quick. Is this real, or is this a fantasy that I've created, or is this a drama or a nightmare or that I've created? Like,
Mhm.
is this actually real? Is this legit? So pull yourself back to that as well.
Right. And so I think from that one, when you saying, is this real? That's when I brought in the poor agreement. Because
Yes.
if this is real, and that can actually be informed by remembering the four agreements. The first one being be impeccable with your word. If you're making up something that's not real, you're not being impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
And maybe you're taking things personally, or maybe you're making assumptions and forgetting that you're here to just do your best. That's the synopsis of the four agreements.
Yeah.
Keeping it real.
The four agreements are so simple, but
So
take us
powerful.
on a
So
journey.
powerful.
Yeah, but keep it simple. Kiss,
Mhm.
keep it super simple.
Yep.
Yeah. The next one is, what is your bigger vision and mission in all of this?
Yeah.
No, we talked earlier on about what's your intention, but what is the bigger vision and mission where you're guiding yourself to, and just reminding yourself that everything's on the way, not in the way.
Yeah.
But by tapping into, I know when I was involved in a multi-level marketing company, years and years, oh, flip,
That was a
yeah,
long time ago, I'm
over
sure.
30 something years ago, yeah. And they said, "What's your why? Why do you want to get into this?" I was like, "Because I can." And they're like, "No, you need a real why." But that bigger vision and mission is your why.
Yeah,
Why are you here showing up every day for this? And that you will always be pulled back to that when you
mhm,
can pull yourself back to that.
definitely. And the last one I have is one of my favorite questions. How do I feel about myself here?
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful way to actually get aligned with your overarching mission, your vision, your why, your purpose.
Mm,
How do I feel about myself? So sometimes if I check in, how do I feel about myself here when I'm about to say yes to something? I might feel a little bit of trepidation in my tummy, like oh, what am I going to discover here? But
yeah.
I will have a sense of woohoo, let's go at my heart. And so that's why it's so important to discern, because we can have different types of nuances of
Mm,
feelings coming up. And so feeling anxious or weary doesn't necessarily mean no. It might be fueling some excitement to say, yep,
yeah.
I've got this. I'm on
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, I love that.
Hmm,
But we can't wrap up without,
well,
we can't wrap up without a yogi tea bag.
that's right. Yogi tea bag quote.
There's no mistake that yogi, I think they could sponsor us. I think it's about time we,
Yeah,
we
we'll
looked at
reach out to
that.
them. We need to reach out to them and say, hey,
Techniques to help smooth the knocks of life. And I have to giggle because when we do the yogi tea bag, it literally sums up all our techniques in one.
well, this one actually is pretty good. It's a big one.
Okay.
This one says,
Hand on heart, everyone. Hand on heart and listen,
it
people.
says, be guided. Listen to the whispers of the universe. That's a beautiful way to smooth the knocks of life, is to be
Yeah.
guided. Listen to the whispers of the universe. They're always there. We just need to listen.
Turn them on, be present. And like I said, it just sums up our podcast.
It really
That's
does.
it does.
But
They
of
do.
course it does.
State the obvious, yes.
Uh,
So I trusted that. Yeah, definitely. But you know how I wrap this up, people. I'm going to ask you for this techniques to help smooth the knocks of life. Are you playing the game of life to the fullest? Do 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 do. And I'd expect everyone to say no. Just for the record, if someone says yes, then there's more to be had. There's more, like wringing out a towel. Anyway, going back to
yeah.
that. Are you playing the game of life to the fullest? There's always more to be had. So from listening today, from listening to our techniques to help smooth the knocks of life, where you wrote them down, what's your highest priority? What's your highest priority action step that you're going to do today that's going to help you achieve your inspiration?
Hmm.
What's your highest priority action step you're going to do today to achieve your inspiration. And then I'd love you to put in the chat. Let us
Yes,
know.
we'd
Put us in
love
the
to
chat.
hear.
Yeah, let us know, because we love these things. And if there's anything in particular you'd like us to talk about on one of our podcasts, then also let us know, because we are here
Definitely.
for you. We
Mhm.
are here for you. So, what's our highest priority action step we're going to do today? I love that. I love that. Thank you,
Mhm.
everybody, for listening. That's our Deliciously Motivated Mindset conversation with Debs and Moira. That is us signing off, and we trust you got incredible value from today, and you will listen to us on the next call, which will be released in a week.
Next
Yeah.
week. Yes.
Thank you, Moira. Thank you,
Thank you.
listeners.
Thank you, dear Debs. Thank you, Internet.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
listeners. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, where the mission is to help listeners unlock their full potential and thrive, not just survive. As the episode comes to a close, they trust you've gained some powerful insights. If you haven't already, take a moment to reflect on one key takeaway that you'll apply right away. Before we wrap things up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from you. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how you're putting your insights into action. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep thriving.